Let me tell you a story about a financial promise, a gift from a grandfather that was set up 50 years ago. Now, it sounds nice, right? But this simple story holds a really powerful lesson about a mistake that could be costing you a ton of money, and you might not even see it happening.
I mean, seriously, what if a gift that was meant to buy a whole house, to secure someone's future, ended up falling short by hundreds of thousands of dollars? How on earth does that happen? Well, that's exactly the question we're going to dig into. Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is 1975. A grandfather has this really thoughtful idea to provide for his future grandchild. The only catch? The plan won't actually pay out for 50 years, all the way in 2025. So back in 75, our grandfather buys a house, and it costs him $38,000. Pretty standard for the time. And he thinks, you know what? I want my grandchild to have this exact same opportunity. A really great thought, right?
And his plan? Well, it was super simple, and it seemed totally foolproof. He takes $38,000 in cold, hard cash, the exact price of his house, and he locks it away in a safe. The idea is that one day, his grandchild can use it to buy their own house. Simple.
All right, let's hit the fast forward button. We're jumping 50 years into the future, to today. The grandchild is all grown up, they're ready to buy a house, and it's time to open that safe. So, what did they find?
Well, the grandchild starts looking around for a house, and they hit a wall. A huge one. The average house today isn't 38 grand anymore. Nope, it's now $363,000. That's a bit of a difference.
So you see the problem here. The $38,000 is still in the safe. Every single dollar is there. But it can't buy a house. Not even close. The grandfather's wonderful, well-intentioned plan has totally and completely failed. So what gives? What went wrong? The dollar bills look the same, they feel the same, but their actual power, their purchasing power, has just evaporated. Where did all that value go?
The silent thief here is a little thing called inflation. The easiest way to think about it is this. As more and more money gets created and pumped into the economy, you've suddenly got way more dollars all chasing the same amount of stuff, like houses. And when that happens, prices for that stuff go up, which means each one of your dollars gets weaker.
It's been called a leaky faucet for your savings, just slowly dripping away their value over time. It's like a hidden tax that you don't even see, and it's quietly stealing the future wealth you're trying to build.
But what if the grandfather had done something just a little bit different? Let's rewind the tape all the way back to 1975 and play out a second scenario, a choice that would have changed literally everything.
Okay, so in this timeline, instead of just stuffing paper cash in the safe, he decides to convert that $38,000 into a hard asset, gold. We call it hard money because you can't just print more of it. You have to physically pull it out of the ground. It's scarce. He takes the gold, and that's what he locks in the safe. So let's look at the numbers. Back in 75, an ounce of gold was about $160. So for his $38,000, he was able to buy 236 ounces of gold. He puts those 236 ounces into the safe, shuts the door, and forgets about it for 50 years. Now fast forward to today, the grandchild opens the safe. But instead of finding 38 grand in cash, they find 236 ounces of gold. And what's that gold worth today? Not 38,000. No, it's worth almost $1 million. When you look at the final numbers side by side, it's just staggering. The saved cash can't even touch the house. But the gold? The gold can buy the $363,000 house and another one and still have a pile of cash left over. The goal wasn't just met, it was completely blown out of the water. Okay, so this brings us to the core lesson of this whole story. It really shines a light on the huge difference between two words we use all the time, saving and investing. And trust me, they are not the same thing.
See, when you save currency, just putting dollars in a safe or even a low-interest bank account, inflation just eats away at its power over time. But when you invest in assets, things like gold or real estate or stocks, you're actually giving your money a shield to protect itself and even grow stronger than that leaky faucet of inflation.
And you've got to realize this process never, ever stops. Sure, that $38,000 today might get you a pretty nice car, but what about in another 50 years? As inflation just keeps marching on, that same amount of money might barely buy you a used scooter. Its power just keeps leaking away.
And that leads us to the single most important takeaway from this whole thing. If you really want to get ahead in life, financially speaking, just saving your money is not enough. It's a losing game. You have to invest.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. Take a look at your own finances. Is your money just sitting still, slowly losing its power like that cash in the safe? Or is it invested in assets, actually working for you, building and protecting your future, like that gold? Something to think about.